At the core of every framework is the concept of patterns or architectural patterns. Patterns are simply abstract ways to organize your programming. One of the most basic patterns, and one used by all the frameworks we discuss in this course, is called MVC. MVC stands for Model View Controller, and this pattern represents the concept of breaking down your application into three coherent parts: the model or data layer, the view or user interface layer, and the controller, which mediates user interface interactions and updates to the model. To break down an interaction, the user interacts with the user interface, and this is coded somewhere in the view layer. Let's say they click a button to add an item to a shopping cart. The user input will then be handled by the controller. This can be done in the handler or a callback in JavaScript or something like that. If necessary, the controller will notify the model of changes and update or change the state of the model. In the case of the shopping cart, the session would then likely be updated to add this item to the user's cart data. The view can then query the model's data to display it, for example, to show the shopping cart. Notice that the pattern does not dictate how this is done. Each framework will divide it up in a slightly different way. If you aren't using a framework, it would be tempting to have all this handled in the same PHP page, or even to have the Add to Cart functionality written into the catalog page and the product detail page. This is basically the core of the frameworks we discuss in this course. What changes is really just where the parts are stored and other patterns and coding practices that are also embedded into the framework. The PHP frameworks we'll be looking at all rely on the MVC or Model View Controller pattern for their code organization. Using this pattern, applications are broken into cohesive parts: the model layer to handle the data and interact with the database, the view layer to handle the user interface, and the controller which responds to interactions going both ways. This pattern generally works well to create an application that's well partitioned and thus easy to test, maintain, reuse, and work on in a team environment.